Photoshop's Content-Aware Fill feature has a new workspace which includes controls for selecting source information as well as adapting content based on rotation, scale, and mirroring. We'll start with this selection of the area that we want to fill and choose Edit, Content-Aware Fill. On the left is the original image, and on the right is the preview of the fill. The green overlay represents the areas that Photoshop can sample from, and we can see here that it's sampling from the rooster. I don't want it to, so I'm going to switch to my sample brush, set to Subtract From, and click and paint over the areas in the original image that I no longer want Photoshop to sample from. Now Content-Aware Fill does a much better job with that more directed area that it's using to sample from. We could also add an area to sample from by either selecting the plus icon or simply holding the Option or the Alt key to toggle between the two options. If I ever need to refine my selection, I can select the lasso tool and then click and drag to either add to, subtract from, or intersect the selection. We can use the color adaptation options to have Content-Aware Fill modify the contrast and brightness in order to create a better match. In this case, I'll set it back to the default. I'm going to set the output settings to output to a new layer for a completely non-destructive workflow. In this second example, I want to fill this oddly formed area of the snail's shell, so I'll select it with the lasso tool and choose Edit, Content-Aware Fill. By default, Photoshop keeps the pixels upright when filling in areas, so I'll want to change the rotation adaptation. I'll use that in combination with scale, which can also be very helpful for filling in areas in perspective. And the mirror option can help fill a portion of a horizontally symmetrical object if you need it to do so. Now, depending on the image, I may need to make additional refinements, but it's great to know that Content-Aware Fill can help with some of the heavy lifting when removing distracting elements from images.